The worst thing that could have possibly happened happened to me yesterday. If you don't know who I am, because I have like 40 subscribers, I have been in kind of a invisible battle with the people that I live with. I'm sorry if there's people in the background of this video. I really try to avoid coming out to Fort Greene on the weekends like this, especially if there's really nice weather, because I mean it's just hard. There's nowhere to go to record, and there's people all around me. But this was I couldn't keep this inside of me for an entire weekend and wait for there to be shitty weather so I could come out here. Basically what happened is, like I was saying, I've posted 2 videos at this point about my ongoing saga with the randomly assigned roommates that I live with in my college dorm. If you haven't seen those and you don't want to watch them, I will summarize. Basically, I just live with really lazy and gross people, and messes keep getting worse and nothing ever gets cleaned, and there are all these mysterious, disgusting substances appearing everywhere and fungus growing places, and it's just horrifying. And I'm pretty sure I'm the only person, I said this many times, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only person that ever has cleaned anything in this entire dorm. So yesterday, me and my another thing I should explain is I have my room, right? This is important. I have a room and I share it with 2 other people. Those are my roommates. The guys that live on the other side of the dorm to me, which is divided by a long hallway with a bathroom, are the suite mates. So we all live in we all unlock the same door when we come into the dorm, but we are on both separate sides of it. So when I refer to my roommates, I'm talking about the people that I share a singular room with no divisions. My roommates and I have a group chat that we never use, but I got a text in that group chat yesterday that said, they added me. Well, I don't want to say their names, but let's just call them roommate 1 and roommate 2. Roommate 1 added me and said, hey, whenever you get back to the dorm, me and roommate 2 would like to talk about something with you. And the first thing I thought, honestly, was they're probably going to accuse me of making the messes that have been happening in this dorm. And so I started getting a little, I just couldn't think of anything else that it could be about. So I started getting a little annoyed in my own head because, the messes are hard to ignore at this point. So I was like, I don't know, I guess neither of these guys is contributing to the problem, and they think that I'm doing something. Or maybe they want to, make a cleaning schedule. I had my hopes up for something like that maybe, but no. I get back to my dorm. Both of them are sitting at their desks, like, with very somber, kind of demeanors. And I'm like, hey guys, what's up? What do you want to talk about? And I was a little bit scared, to be honest. I didn't know what they were about to say, because I've never been texted anything like that by either of them. Another thing that's going to be important for this story is my school has something called Fizz. It's an app. I've never used it because I think it sounds like the dumbest thing ever, but it's an app where basically I guess it's like an anonymous forum for everybody that goes to that school to participate in. And so you can post a video of the security guard that everybody hates and be like, look at this jackass, and everybody, but it's anonymous, so you don't get any flack for it. So like I said, I've never used this app before a day in my life, so this was completely off of my radar. But roommate number 1 was like, something has been circulating, a video has been circulating, and we want to talk about it with you. And the second he said the word video, immediately my entire body, it was just one of those moments where you immediately know what's coming, and you also know that you've completely ruined your own life, at least for the next 2.5 weeks that I have to live with these people. Thankfully, the year's almost over. But yeah, the second he said that, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, I know exactly. And it's just so weird because it's one of those things where when I posted those videos, the thought did cross my mind, how funny would it be? Never in a million years did I think that these guys would see, that anyone in general, because I don't have a lot of attention on here, like I said, but especially not anybody that I know in real life, or certainly not the people I live with that I made the video about, would see it. I thought never in a million years, but the thought did cross my mind. It would be funny if I walked into my dorm one day and they had seen the video that I made. So what had happened was that, also, they did not see the entire videos. And you might be thinking, if you clearly you're compromised now and they've seen your channel, so why are you making a third video about this? They didn't see my channel, actually. They only saw about 3 minutes of the first video I made. So the title of this was a little bit clickbait, I guess. Although I imagine that since someone found my account, they will see those videos eventually, but fully. But someone had posted a screen recording of a segment of the first video. It was the part where I show the picture of the biohazard bathroom, and I say a few kind of pretty rude things in that segment, but thankfully they didn't, because I said worse things in the second video about them as people. But yeah, so they only saw that few minute clip, and someone posted it with the caption, "Whose roommate is this?" ? Sobbing emoji. So roommate number one was who, and also let me just say this, roommate number two basically said nothing this entire time. And I was like, why are you part of this? It felt like an intervention, honestly. But roommate number one said, "I don't appreciate that you would go to YouTube with this before you would come talk to us. It feels like it's an immature thing to do." And, he was rambling off about all this. Which, just to be clear, I do understand his perspective. And I told him that. I said, I totally understand where you're coming from here. But in my head, I was like, if this was a situation that was less fucked up than it is, then maybe. But the reality is, I should never in a billion years have to sit down with a grown man and say, "Hey, buddy, can you not leave fungus and cum and dirt and used condoms all over our bathroom, please and thank you? Can you not do that because you live with 5 other people, or 4, however many people?" I shouldn't have to do that in the first place. That was what I was thinking. Why the fuck in a billion years, you don't have to talk to me like that, because I'm an adult. And I'm not even, I'm 19. I'm barely an adult, and I can still fathom that. So that was what I was thinking in my head, because I was kind of like, that's why I went to YouTube with it in the first place, because I didn't think that anything would change if I talked to you, because you're a dumbass. Okay, I'm sorry, but that is what I was thinking. I did not say any of that, because I don't want to make my own life worse. So I basically just was trying to de-escalate the situation as much as possible. I basically just said, "Hey, yeah, I'm sorry, it was immature, blah, 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 blah." Now finally, after not saying a single thing this entire time, roommate 2 pipes up, and he said, I've really been struggling with depression this school year, and also my entire life. And I'm paraphrasing here, but basically he talked about how he's struggled with depression his entire life, but it's been bad, especially recently, because his girlfriend dumped him, and I was thinking, I wonder why, his girlfriend dumped him, and he's battling crippling depression, and, XYZ. And so he was basically saying that he felt like the expectation of him to be extremely cleanly and organized and, you know, hygienic, I guess. I mean, these are not his words exactly, but he was basically saying that the expectation of him to clean up after himself was asking too much of him because his girlfriend dumped him. That is, I'm not making this up. This is what this man looked me dead in the face and said to me. And I was like, do you think, this is not what I said, but in my head I was like, do you think you're the first person ever to have something bad happen to you? Do you think you're the first person to get dumped and this is how you handle it? Do you think that I wanted to go in that bathroom and clean it at any point during the multiple times that I did? Do you think that I wanted to scrape up the combination of jizz, dirt, bacteria, fungus, I guess there's the same thing, and unknown other substances, the slime that was on our bathroom, on our shower floor? Do you think that I wanted to scrape that off with a fucking Clorox wipe? No, I wasn't happy either, but I did it because I don't just do things based on what I fucking feel like doing. I do things based on what needs to be done. And I know it sounds very dramatic, but I mean, these guys are both older than me. So I feel like, if anything, I should be the one fucking around and they should be the ones that know what the hell they're doing, but it was just a whole nightmare. So obviously I did not say that because I was just like, clearly this guy's an idiot, so I'm not going to say any of that. But what I said was, you know, I'm sorry to hear that, but I do expect a certain standard of, you know, basic hygiene. And I'm sure that neither of you individually is causing this mess, but neither of you has ever helped with it. That's a slightly more blunt version of what I said to them. So maybe we can all learn from this and let's all just be a little bit more organized and clean in the future, which I will come on here and update you if that happens, because the chances of that actually anything changing are literally astronomically small. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to complain too much. You know, it's pretty funny. I mean, it really is funny because I never in a million billion years did I think that anyone that I knew in real life, and actually other people other than, it's funny because that first video only got like 1,000, 1,100 views or something. I mean, it's not like it, went totally viral. And I actually had someone that I knew from my hometown that I knew in high school message me on Instagram and be like, "Is this you?" And it was there was a screenshot of a thumbnail. So I guess, a lot of people I knew ended up seeing it for some reason. I don't know why that is. It was I felt like it was a pretty good video. The unfortunate part is, of course, the one time I post something that's actually talking about people I know in real life and live with, it gets, more attention. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to be gone in a couple of weeks anyway, because that's when, our school year ends pretty early, so I'm almost done with this. And I was hesitant to make this because I didn't want I didn't want them to see it, because I just didn't want to have to deal with that. But it's been sitting on my chest, and it's also such a funny thing to happen that I was like, there's no way I can hold this in. Because I would have heard about it if they had seen my channel, because they would have seen the second video I made, where I was a lot meaner than I was in the first one, and I was calling them all sorts of stuff. So I don't think they've seen my channel fully or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's everything. I hope I didn't forget anything. That's all the main parts. It was kind of anticlimactic, but I just think it's so funny that it even happened to begin with. So, so anyone that's coming on here, the internet really is public. Anyone can see what you're doing. So just be careful about that, I guess. If I'm lucky enough that I'm going to be gone in 2 weeks, but if you're in a situation where you're making a video about someone you're going to live with for the next 5 years, maybe be more careful. So yeah, I guess that's everything. Okay. Bye-bye, guys.